You're listening to Move IQ's podcast. I'm your host, Phil Spencer, and I'm absolutely delighted to introduce this season's co-host, my friend Chris Ducker. This is the place where I'll be sharing my advice, my experience, tips and tricks on all things property and moving home. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Go2 offer you an award-winning home moving service, from mortgages to surveys, conveyancing to removals. Their service means one simple point of contact, freeing up your time and taking away any hassle, enabling you to enjoy the move. Be sure to check out Go2. Hello everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. This is our 8th Move IQ property podcast, and Chris and I are going to be talking today about the legalities of buying property and the whole process behind exchanging contracts and completion, and what that actually means and what happens. Chris, you've actually been through this fairly recently, having bought a house, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have.
Did you know what was going on?
At all times, obviously. No, I didn't know what was going on a lot of the time. I mean, I will say that, I did everything that you have been talking about in the last 7 episodes up to this point. I took your advice as well as the advice of the advisors around me, such as my solicitors and surveyors and that sort of type of thing. And things did go relatively smoothly.
Good. Excellent. Nice to hear.
But I will say, there was 2 or 3 times throughout the process where I asked myself, can I pop the champagne now? Like, are we ready to celebrate already? And on 2 or 3 occasions, I was told, no, not quite yet.
Oh, good.
So, offer was accepted. Yes. Everything was good. Contracts are being put together. Surveys are being done. Can I pop the champagne now? No, you can't, Chris. When's the completion date? When's the exchange date? What does that even mean? Can I pop the cork now? No, you can't. Not quite.
Well, somebody was giving you good advice.
Yes,
there,
they were.
I'm sure you were desperate to pop the cork.
Let me ask you this. So what does it actually mean, right? At this point in the proceeding, break it down for us. What does it mean?
When you are going through the conveyancing process and the transaction and the kind of nitty-gritty, and the lawyers are working with each other to get a contract in place, an exchange of contracts is exactly that. In actual fact, you don't nowadays have to sign the contract. But once the solicitors are both happy that the contract is in its full and final form, and the mortgage company's happy and the surveyor's happy and everyone's good to go, and the date for completion is agreed throughout the chain, then contracts are exchanged. And that is the first time that the deal is legally binding and nobody can back out of it without being sued. You cannot celebrate a deal until you've exchanged contracts at the earliest.
Now, is there a time between exchanging contracts and actually taking ownership?
Well, you can exchange contracts and complete on the same day.
Okay.
It's possible. I would never recommend it.
Why?
Because still things can go wrong.
Okay. I thought this episode was going to be all positive here.
Well, we'll get there eventually. But no, even on completion day, in order to exchange, everything has to be agreed, which includes the completion date.
Right.
Now, bear in mind there will be other people involved in the chain. It's not just you and your situation, and it might not be that just the person that is buying from you or that you are buying from. The chances are other people in the chain will have a job move or a baby arriving or a holiday or a wedding or something, and it's a process of discussion and a little bit of negotiation. Everybody agreed to move on the same date.
Okay.
However, you get to that date, I call it's squeaky bum time. Because you still don't know if it's actually going to happen on the day.
Yeah.
And some of that depends on the people that you've got around you. Your bank, your solicitor. Are they proactive? Are they on message?
Okay, well, that's all very well and good and everything. But, I mean, what can go wrong at this point, then, if we are going to get a little negative, and why would it go wrong?
On completion day, it doesn't often go wrong, so I don't want to kind of freak everybody out. But I do describe completion day as squeaky bum day because it hasn't happened and you want it to happen as early in the day as possible. Reasons why a completion might not happen on the right day The most common one, and I do say it doesn't happen regularly, but it would be late payments.
Right, I was going to say money.
Money.
Right.
Money takes time to transfer. It's not press of a button and it appears at the other end. The money has to appear at the other end. It has to land in the solicitor's account who's acting on the behalf of the person you're buying from. The money has to arrive in their account before you can pick up the keys. So if you don't start that process before about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's not going to happen by close of business. And if it doesn't, if the money hasn't landed by close of business and you've packed up and you moved out of your house and all your belongings are on the back of your removals van, that is a major headache for everyone because completion will tip over into the following day. That's one reason it could potentially go wrong. Another reason would be somebody up and down the chain has miscalculated their budget, miscalculated the money. They haven't got the right level of deposit to the loan that they're getting. There's a shortfall somewhere. It happens. And make sure it doesn't happen to you. Those are all reasons why I would never recommend trying to exchange and complete on the same day. I think it's stressful. There's enough going on. Spread them out. Have a bit of space and fresh air between the two of them. Then you can book your removals with confidence and with clarity.
Yes. So I think the big question here is, I mean, particularly for first-time buyers, they've gone through this entire process and everything. What actually happens on the day of completion?
It's a really special moment. And I say this with all sincerity. It's a moment you'll never repeat, particularly as a first-time buyer.
Of course.
When the deal completes and you get the phone call that the money's through, you can go and pick your keys up.
Nice.
Now, you need to know who's got the keys.
Well, ideally, if you want to pick them up, I can see that being an issue. Right?
Is it the solicitor? Is it the estate agent? Or is it the person, the owner, the person that you're buying from? Go and pick the keys up and buy a bottle of champagne and go round and open that door and treasure that moment. You step across the threshold. You have just bought your own little bit of the world. That is your privacy, your security, your sanctuary. It's your home. And that is a very, very special thing to have bought. You've worked hard for it. You're going to be paying for it for the next 25 years.
Yeah.
But it's special. And that doesn't happen too often. It's a really special day. Enjoy it. It's such an exciting day. You've worked long and hard. You put so much effort and thought and care and sleepless nights and blood, sweat and tears into getting to this point of completion.
Don't forget arguments.
Discussion. I prefer the word discussion, Chris. But it happens. It can be quite a torturous process. There's ups and downs. There's drama. There's jeopardy. There's a journey. But you get to completion date, and you deserve it. You deserve opening that bottle of champagne, crossing the threshold, and going, "This is mine. I've just bought this. It's my home. It's my own personal bit of the world." It's a special moment.
It's warm and fuzzy. I love that. What a great way to end not only episode 8 here, but also the first season of the Move IQ podcast. Phil, I've had a blast.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. And for you guys tuning in, thank you very much for being with us here, episode after episode. Now, we've done something very special. What we've done is we've actually put together a fantastic little checklist for everyone that covers what you need to do when you first move in. And Phil, you gave me a brilliant piece of advice when we first spoke about this.
Only one?
Just one. Well, actually, this is just
one. But at least
one.
you remembered it, Chris.
I did. Just one out of many that are on this exclusive checklist from Move IQ. But we'll give you a little teaser right here. Give us your tip on the first thing that you should do when you move in regards to changing the locks. This was a big one.
Well, I didn't realise it went down that well. When you move into a new house, you've no idea how many people have got keys.
Absolutely.
I mean, the gardener, the plumber, the electrician, the cleaner, the babysitter. I mean, it goes on. So, certainly what I've done, just change the locks, and then you know who's got the keys.
It's a couple of £100 for peace of mind.
Job
there
done.
you go. You guys, you can get that tip probably in a little bit more detail, amongst others as well, which will make your moving in so much more easier to digest and get started with. Head over to moveiq.co.uk/checklist to download that exclusive checklist. You'll only find it on the MoveIQ website. And for you guys, thank you so much for tuning in with our first season here on the MoveIQ podcast. It was great to spend some time with you. We hope that this podcast has brought you the clarity and the confidence to go ahead and move forward with buying that first home, particularly for our first home buyers. And it was a lot of fun to spend time with you.
I've enjoyed it too, Chris. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you find it useful. Good luck out there.
And we'll be back at you, you never know, with season 2 of this podcast very soon. Bye for now.
That wraps up this week's episode of MoveIQ's podcast. Whatever podcast app you like to use, please do go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'd also really appreciate it if you could leave a review. Reviews really help other people like you find us. For free resources and materials, head over to moveiq.co.uk. Thanks for tuning in.